Alright guys, this is going to be the full testing of the S90V Proper and the lightweight Rex 45 Manix. These are both from the same person. I will link his Instagram down below. Thank you, Sam, for sending these along so that I could test them. And even though these really aren't two to compare, I am going to go ahead and put them together in this video. So, I guess I'll talk about this one first. The S90V Proper. For some reason, I thought the 15 degree per side bevel was going to be much wider than this on this knife. Didn't end up that way. Really surprised by it. This was actually very close to being 30 inclusive to begin with. It was 15.2 on one side and 15.4 on the other. So really close. You have your gold liners or your bronze liners, your carbon fiber. S90V Proper. And done a few of these by now. Do have the Shaman coming up at some point in Rex 45, the knife center one with the wood scales. In the meantime, I have this one to compare to the two different pair of threes that I've run. This one also was not too far off being 30 inclusive, so it did not take very much work to get this one to where it needed to be for testing. So, more Rex 45, more S90V, and we'll go ahead and get through the cutting right now. Then we'll talk about how these sharpened, how they performed, recap the factory test because it was quick, and unfortunately I did not, at the time, I don't recall what happened. I did not end up testing the very first sharpening on either one of these. I don't exactly remember why. It just didn't end up happening this time. So you will get a good idea though of what 3 edges does on something like this, and even on something like this. So let's blow that cutting out and come back and talk about both of these. Alright, now that we saw that cutting, we'll go ahead and get into these. So, I have no idea what the hardness is on this one. It's not going to be tested as far as I know. I would venture to say from the results that I got that this is somewhere in the low to mid 59 range for a hardness. Sharpened up fine, deburred perfectly fine, had no issues with it whatsoever. Straightforward, very easy to do. Even though you guys may hear otherwise, S90V is a very easy steel to sharpen, even when it is run harder. So this was a total of the factory edge, tested on the third edge, tested on the fourth edge, and these will go back to the owner with brand new edges on them. And the Rex 45. I've done other Rex 45 that you guys haven't seen yet. I actually do have quite a lot of footage that I haven't got to yet because of how busy I've been, so I'm not sure when those are actually going to come out. But I do have quite a lot of footage that I need to either get the beginning done for, the ending done for, something like that. But I do have more Rex 45 coming. This particular one felt really good in sharpening. It does feel a good bit harder than the pair of threes that I have tested. Those sharpen totally different than this one does. This one deburred super easy. Sharpened really easy. Had no problems with it. Straightforward. So both of these, no problems, no issues. Not like anything I've run into in the past. I really enjoy when they go this easy like this. Now let's talk about how these did. I'm starting with this one because it did so poorly on the factory edge. The factory edge felt very ragged. It didn't feel sharp, and that showed in testing. It barely cut paper on the factory edge, and I got 3 feet of cardboard cut before this would no longer cut paper within that 1-inch section. You guys already saw that. Like I mentioned earlier, or maybe I didn't mention, I'm not sure why I didn't test the first sharpening on these. At this point, I just have, with as busy as I've been, I have no idea why it didn't happen. But on the third edge, when I did start testing this one again, got 132 feet fine edge, 236 feet working edge, for a total of 368 feet. That's not too far off from the 940-1 that I did of Josh's in S90V. So, same as always, sharpened it again, ran the test again, and on the verification test, 130 feet fine edge, 237 feet working edge, for a total of 367 feet. Not bad at all. This is why I said I think this is in the low to mid 59 range. The mid 59 Spyderco S90V that was tested didn't cut too much more than that. If you break it down in percent, I believe it was somewhere around 9 or 10% more. So not a bad result at all, especially for a slip joint like this. To be able to cut almost 370 feet in a 1-inch section, if this is all you're carrying around with you, this particular one is going to do perfectly fine. I'd have no problem carrying something like this. The only problem for me is this is a 3-finger knife, and that's it. So it's a little small. I like the design. but it did well for what it is. So let's move along to the Rex 45. The Rex 45 on the first test did just under 200 feet total. Not bad for a factory edge. So started testing this one also on edge number 3. And on edge number 3, 191 feet fine edge, 186 feet working edge, for a total of 377 feet. Sharpened it again, ran the verification test, and on the verification, I got 188 feet fine edge, 191 feet working edge, for a total of 379 feet. So, even though I said these really aren't comparable in terms of things such as totally different toughness, little bit of difference in edge stability, obvious difference in stainless, and toughness, overall toughness, impact resistance, things like that, the total amount of cutting you're going to get with either one of these is really close. I don't remember what any of the Rex Manixes were testing at. I believe it was around 67. Not positive though. I really don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen any of them tested, and I don't know if I've seen any lightweights that were tested. Good results on this one. It's going to make him a great little user knife, and really happy with this one. I do have a G10 Rex Manix buried somewhere in one of my knife drawers. I'm going to have to get that out and carry it. I'm still on the same page about Rex. I'm not super impressed by it, but I don't think it's horrible either. So hopefully I'll get some more carry out of one of the Rexes that I have that could possibly be run harder, and compare it to one of the Para 3s and see what the difference is. No, it doesn't seem like a ton of difference in actual cutting. I believe the Para 3 Rexes did around 330, 335 feet. Yes, I know this is only like 50, 55 feet more. However, like the Spy 27, run a little bit harder like this, it could be something that strops back better and gives a better overall user experience for a longer period of time. So that's all I have for this one. Thank you again to Sam for sending both of these along. I will get these back out to you this week. His Instagram will be linked down below for you guys to go and check out. I appreciate everything that he has sent me. And if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, put them down below. I did fix the Google document spreadsheet for the edge retention. If you guys have a problem getting to that, let me know. Copied a totally new link for it, plugged it in there. As far as I can tell on my end, everything's great. I will try to put the other links that should have been in the videos that haven't lately in there also. My Patreon, everything else like that. But that's all I have for this one. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.